Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of 1B Scissor Crew's Blitz Battle. Don't know why I said episode. Okay, so this team is of course a hybrid between NIKA BONNEY and Kuma. Yes, there's not a lot of Kuma friend captains, but all you need is one, and then you can just replay the quest as many times as you want to with that singular friend captain. So when you have NIKA BONNEY or Kuma, this Blitz Battle just becomes a joke, because as you run a double friend captain, or you run a NIKA BONNEY friend captain and a Kuma captain, or what I'm running here, everything just becomes easy because you can use Kuma twice, you can use NIKA BONNEY twice, and there's not much else that you have to deal with. So we are running one non-boosted character, being Shirahoshi, but she is exceptionally helpful and I do think it's worth running her. She does have a bit of cooldown, so we do need to run a -2 cooldown ship, whichever one you have. If you do not have a -2 cooldown ship, you can also use I would say the support of Nami, but that would only work for one variation. So just make sure you have a -2 cooldown ship, and make sure that Shirahoshi is a limit break. So stage 3, you get 6 tons of despair, and the enemy is weak to every orb besides recovery. So Shirahoshi right there does give us a full board of recovery orbs at the start of the quest, so that's helpful for stage 3. And then in NIKA BONNEY special, we'll remove the despair. There's really nothing else here, just tap on your captains to kill. Then we can move on to stage 4. And as you can see there, we used Brook for wave clear on stage 1 and 2, so make sure his double special is maxed. But of course, that allows us to make this a speed team, so that's pretty nice. We'll use Kuma here, that'll give Shirahoshi the last turn of cooldown. There are two variants here, either the variant that gives you attack down or paralysis. Shirahoshi removes both. And if you get the variation with bind, then Kuma will remove that. Then we're going to use Sanji's special. This will give us a chain boundary effect of 2 turns, and then also the Jumbe support will give us a chain additive, which will allow us to get past the chain minimum attack down. We can ignore the chain coefficient reduction, and this chain lock is important because it will last for the final stage, which will block the weak chain lock that the enemy will try and give us on the final stage as a preemptive. And then we can use our Sanji again on the next stage for another chain boundary. The chain coefficient reduction will be gone by then, so we don't have to worry about it. Same goes for the chain attack down. That's about it. I mean, we could use Kuma here and NIKA BONNEY just for some extra damage, and I think I will do that. We'll just use Kuma here, that'll give our captains cooldown, and then we can just kill off the enemy. We could also use Nika's super class here, which I actually will do. This will give us a chain multiplicative buff, which is going to make sure that we can get past the chain minimum attack down. So we can do this. Okay, that was a lot of lag. But we can kill with the super tandem. So I mean, if you wanted to, you could use Nika's X super on stage 3 for the recovery orbs, but as you can see there, the damage is quite tight, so you do want to use the X super on stage 4. So the final stage here, we can use Kuma to remove the bind and give us a second color affinity. We can use Bluegrass to get rid of the defense up and give us end of turn damage to get around the resilience. You can use Sanji for a few matching orbs and also a chain boundary effect, and then finally NIKA BONNEY for a conditional attack boost for delay. But that's about it. The only issue here is the tandem orb, so you might want to rather use Shark Superb. I mean, not Shark Superb, the Whale Sharks, because that will make tandem orbs count as matching, because I don't think we can actually kill here. But let's just see. Remember, NIKA BONNEY is the only unit here that's going to be dealing damage, because they do have the buff that allows them to get through enemy defensive effects. And as you can see there, the kill is quite easy. If you do use the Whale Sharks, which gives the tandem orbs counted as matching, then you really don't need to use all the taps. You can just hit a good strike on someone to start the chain with the chain boundary, and then just kill with a perfect on NIKA BONNEY. So as you can see, we're running about a 7.41x, which is not the greatest, but if you only have one character from the new batch, it is expected. But you should be able to farm this quite quickly, get to level, or get to 100,000 points. I do want to show you guys the version which on stage 4 when they give us bind and special bind, in which case Shirahoshi works perfectly as well. Let me actually time the run this time around. And I did add Well Shocks, so we should be able to kill the final stage exceptionally quick. So as you can see the top left, we can start the timer and see how fast the team is. So no stall, wave clear. Hopefully this time we can find the other boss variant for stage 4, which will have the bind infliction and also paralysis instead of attack down. So Brook is great. You don't need to have him expanded. I think he has level the double special activation without it. If he does though, then yeah, you do need the expansion. So if you don't have Mr. 3, any cooldown support will work. Or I think you could also expand him. You could also expand Shirahoshi possibly for extra cooldown. But you could just like stall instead if you don't want to put in the resources. Stage 4 here. Okay, now it's the exact same variant, so we can use Kuma. Shirahoshi. Sanji. And we can use Kuma, and then finally NIKA BONNEY's X Super. You can kill quite easily here, hit a good strike, start the chain off. Okay, so I'd rather hit it perfect on Sanji, so that way NIKA kills immediately, instead of using Brook. So far, we're about a minute and 20 seconds in. We do have to use quite a bit of specials and X Supers on the 4th stage there. The final stage is quite quick. We're just using Sanji for chain boundary. Kuma for more color affinity. But now that we have matching orbs, the orb boost is going to be way too strong. Okay, you don't even need to hit it perfect. Don't hit it perfect on Luffy. Just hit a good, and you can literally just hit a miss and it will kill. We have that much damage. So we have about sub 2 minute run. That's pretty nice. As I said there, you don't need to hit a perfect on Luffy. Just hit a miss. It'll deal way enough damage. Even if you don't have the whale sharks and you have neutral orbs, the team, as you saw in the previous attempt, still works, just slower. But I'm pretty happy with that. If you do have versus Zoro and you want more points, then you can replace Shirahoshi with him. But then you will need to add supports for paralysis reduction. And I think that's about it. You will have tandem orbs on stage 3, so you'll be dealing less damage. But if you use your super tandem, you should still be able to kill quite easily, even though you do have to deal with the orb weakness. But that's only if you are using versus Zoro. I will have videos using him in coming. But for now, this is the most accessible team I could make, using very easy characters. All these subs you should have, even Bluegrass. I mean, I've pulled this character so much that I've rainbowed her, and I'm a free-to-play player, so most players should have at least one copy. But she's very useful for the final stage, getting rid of the defense up and also getting around resilience. You do not need the expansion on Shirahoshi, but let me just quickly check. Does she get cooldown with the expansion? Because if you do not have a -2 cooldown ship, then you might have to expand it if you do want to keep the team at 0 stall. Now you get an extra turn here if you do have that expansion. Then you don't need a -2 cooldown ship, or you don't need Mr. 3. Let me quickly check, is there a replacement for Mr. 3? Some sort of cooldown reducing support. Come on. Cooldown is here. Yeah, you could use Roger, or you could use the waifus. Those are just 2 other options if you don't have Mr. 3. But they don't work as well. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed or find this team helpful. I will have teams for if you just have like each of the rare recruits. If you have both NIKA BONNEY and maybe one of the rare recruits, or none of the new batch, I'll also have teams for that. So keep a lookout if you can't make this team and you are looking out for one of those types of teams. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, and I'm out.